25, which would be a shame. She's been a brilliant athlete her whole career and would be, or is enjoying being part of Grand Slam. Sian Salmon, decent draw for her in 7 years. She was 6th in the hurdle event. Just need to judge this right, the athletes. I think Sydney will certainly be able to do that. Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone, done this so many times, such a great exponent over all the sprints, never mind with those hurdles in the way. Rochelle Clayton, 32-year-old Jamaican, has run a flat 400 already this year, in a fairly swift 52.3 thereabouts, not too far off that personal best you can see in the caption. Adrianette Knight, her teammate, similarly indoors for her though, 52.8. Normally you run quicker outdoors than indoors. So this is Peters of the Netherlands, a big part of the Dutch very successful 4x4 and mixed 4x4 squad that does so well at Olympics and Worlds. And then Cassandra Tate of the USA on the inside. Just might find the others moving away from her here, particularly I think with Peters in the lane 3. Just got held a little bit longer by the starter there, but they're away and gone. McLaughlin-Levrone already making up ground, and we've just had a pull-up from Rochelle Clayton, who's pulled up in the first 100 meters, maybe trying to hang on to the American, who knows. Going very quickly, Cassandra Tate, right on the inside, has started exceptionally quickly through the first 200 meters. But it's McLaughlin-Levrone out in lane 6, smoothly making their way around the top bend. Cassandra Tate, right on the inside, has run an excellent first 300, but is she going to pay for that as they come into the wind in the home straight? Sydney out on her own as we expected it to be, then it's going to be a real scrap for the minor places behind her. Tate is just starting to tread water in the home straight there, but it's Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone who's going to come through to make it 2 wins in the women's long hurdles. It's 50.32. Knight just took 2nd place. It was tough out there. The wind was never going to make that easy, but the victory was never really in doubt. It was just a case of how quick and by how far. Well, the answer was almost 2 seconds, which in the 400 meters is a long, long way. It has to be said, though, that Knight has run her season's best, and Dalilah Muhammad in the 52-second mark. But there's our winner. There's our slam winner, our final slam winner of the first Grand Slam track. As we said, if you're going to run that quick for 400 hurdles, of course you can run quick on the flat.
Yeah, being able to run 48 seconds in the flat 4 as a 4 hurdler is unheard of. She ran 22 seconds into a headwind in the 200 last season. So speed-wise, she's not even comparable to some of these women out here. So I think she may even surprise us later on in the year and say, look, I'm going to go to the World Championships to run the 4.
Or maybe the 800.
I don't know about that.
I would love to see her run an 800 or 2, but I don't know if she wants to.
But I mean, really, just going through the motions here and just securing the money, you know, it's an easy 400,000 for her if she goes through all 4 and dominates the way she's doing. But if she wants to really test herself and test some of the other competitors and show what she can do in other events, she's gonna jump in that long sprints and go against some of those other women in that 4 and that deuce.
Well, MJ enjoyed it. You may hear the party's already started here in the stadium. There was a big win that Cassandra Tate went through the first 300 meters. She must have only been about 4 or 5 meters behind her, but look where she finished in the end. Finished in to tune up for this. Rochelle Clayton, all-time number 10 in the world ever at this event. Well, Clayton got a great cheer. McLaughlin-Levrone, I'm sure the Jamaican crowd will give her an equally good welcome. Superstar of our sport. Sian Salmon has shown that she's got incredible ability in this event. 52.97, under 53 seconds, which is real high up world class. That was last year in Zurich. Kathleen Peters The Dutch athlete who's, again, just come from the World Indoors, where she helped the Dutch to gold medal in the 4x4 relay. She ran the third leg, handing over to Femke Bol, often the challenger to Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone, and indeed, a little while ago, Dalila Muhammad. So Muhammad on the inside in lane 2. We only have 7 athletes in this particular race. Wouldn't it be great to see Muhammad kind of rediscover some form of old in what she's already said is her final year?
It would be. So the last person to beat Sydney McLaughlin. And it took a world record to do it. The last 2 times she beat her world records. So you know what it takes to beat her. See what happens today.
So McLaughlin-Levrone in lane 5. Clayton and Knight, the 2 Jamaicans, in 6 and 7. Salmon also in 4. Sydney McLaughlin starts pretty quickly as expected, but Rochelle Clayton's holding her through the first hurdle, just maybe a meter or so, not even that. The 2 of them going down the back straight, almost stride for stride, although McLaughlin-Levrone just forging ahead down the back straight into 200 meters. Clayton going well, others just starting to falter a little bit. Salmon a long, long way back. Dalila Muhammad trying to work hard in lane 2 to get on terms. Clayton doing a level best to hang on to the American here, but McLaughlin-Levrone doing what she does best. Clayton just faltered off that one. Dalila Muhammad moving through in lane 2 as well, but they're a long, long, long way behind. McLaughlin-Levrone over the last hurdle. Storms on now, just watch the clock here. See what she's going to give us here in Kingston. 52.76. Muhammad with an excellent run in lane 2 to take 2nd spot. And others perhaps suffering from going out hard with the best in the business. Really, really strong performance. Okay, this is the result we expected. I thought Muhammad ran really well to come through in 2nd place. Not easy necessarily in lane 2. So the Americans getting a 1-2. Almost days of old there.
Yeah. Well, this is the fastest time ever run. She was going to get the fastest time ever run on Jamaican soil. Just outside of that, held by Rochelle Clayton, who's in this race. But Sydney's a special 400-meter hurdle runner. She alternates for 7 hurdles, running 14 strides between, which is pretty unheard of. You got to be moving to be able to do that. Coming home, she'll let her stride shorten up a little bit, but she was clear of the field. I was pretty sure she was going to take it easy in this first race because early season, she knows she doesn't have to do much to win. And then she can try and put something down in that 400 tomorrow to secure the bag. But ultimately, at some point, I want to see her cross over with some of the faster women in the 4, you know?
It's a measure of her ability. There's so many women in the world would dream of running 52.76, and she could make that look workmanlike, or with everyday performance, just easy, just comfortable. She was looking at the clock. I don't think she thought maybe she'd run a bit quicker.
It looked like a stroll.
The 2025 season has once again confirmed that Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone is operating on a level entirely her own. Her performances at the Grand Slam track meet in Kingston were not just victories. They were a clear statement of dominance, control, and strategic brilliance that set her apart from the rest of the women's 400-meter hurdles field. Across the weekend, McLaughlin-Levrone showcased 2 different faces of her greatness. First came her commanding win in the flat 400 meters, a race that underlined her raw speed and endurance. That victory alone would have been enough to headline the event, but it was merely the prelude. When she returned to the track for her signature discipline, the 400-meter hurdles, she delivered an even more emphatic message. Battling noticeable wind resistance, she still clocked an exceptional 50.32 seconds, securing her 2nd win of the meet and reinforcing her status as the undisputed queen of the event. In contrast, her official season debut in the 400-meter hurdles told a slightly different, yet equally powerful story. Running 52.76 seconds, the fastest time ever recorded in April, McLaughlin-Levrone made the race look effortless. There was no visible strain, no desperate sprint between barriers, and no sense of urgency. Every stride was measured, every hurdle clearance perfectly timed. It was a performance built not on maximum risk, but on flawless execution and supreme confidence. Comparing these 2 races reveals the true depth of her dominance. The 50.32 run was about authority, winning decisively even when conditions were far from ideal. The 52.76 performance, meanwhile, was about control, a calm, calculated reminder that she can produce historic times without pushing her limits early in the season. In both scenarios, her rivals were left chasing shadows. Athletes such as Genevieve Russell and Rashawn Clayton fought bravely, but the gap in class was unmistakable. What makes these performances even more striking is the sense that McLaughlin-Levrone is not yet anywhere near her peak. Rather than chasing fast times for their own sake, she appears to be carefully managing her form, selecting moments to assert dominance while preserving room for further progression later in the season. That level of composure and long-term vision is rare, even among champions. As the 2025 campaign unfolds, the narrative around the women's 400-meter hurdles feels increasingly one-sided. The question is no longer who can challenge Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone, it is how far she is willing to push the boundaries of what is possible. After Kingston, one thing is certain: the sport is once again playing catch-up to a generational talent moving at her own pace.